Oh,
My greatest Springsteen story I got
please.
is so I grew up with him meaning that much to me. And then I get on the Howard Stern show, I become a celebrity, and I'm touring, I'm myself, and on the show, I'm always the one defending Bruce. I'm like, I'm a Springsteen fan. Blah, blah, blah. And Gary, of course, huge fan, so we talk. We had a couple of karaoke contests. I sang Glory Days, and I won.
Oh, nice.
So I'm always like, he's my guy. And in 2007, he was doing practice shows for
the tour, the Magic Tour.
The Magic Tour.
Out here.
At the Meadowlands. So I go to that, and these two guys come up to me, and they say they're big fans of the show, and it turns out that they're Bruce's cousins. And they didn't tell me for a couple of weeks, but they said, listen, we work with Bruce, and you need tickets or anything. So I got tickets through them, and I became friendly with both of them. And the older one had similar issues I had, and he had a drug addiction, and he ended up dying. He died of a heroin overdose. And he was on the road with Bruce when that happened.
Right.
And I went to the kid's funeral, and so, again, Springsteen did such a poignant. He spoke and he sang a couple songs at the kid's funeral. It was so poignant and beautiful. And I met Bruce at the funeral and talked to him. And, I told him I got similar issues and it's kind of rough. And, he goes, well, let me know if you ever need anything. It was a real quick thing, and then,
Did he know who you were?
Yeah, he knew who I was from being on Howard, and the fact that I was now working with his other cousins. The other cousin who was the kid's brother.
The other kid.
He became my road manager. He loved being on the road. I guess it's in the blood, and we started working together, and to this day we work together.
Right.
So what happened to me happened to me. I OD'd on heroin, and I stabbed myself, and I was like, I went away, and when I got out of the rehab center, it was just like the darkest time for me. I didn't know what I was going to do. And my mother made me stay with her for a few months because she didn't want me out of her sight. And I said, all right. And I'm sitting in my mother's room in Central Jersey, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get back into life? How am I going to rebuild myself? And the phone rings one night, and the answering machine goes off. Neither one of us get it because we didn't recognize the number. And it says, it's Springsteen. And it says, hey, Judy. My mother said, hey, Judy, it's Bruce Springsteen. I'm just calling to check up on Artie. I'll call back. And he hung up. I mean, my mother, she said, is that Bruce Springsteen, the singer? I said, yeah, I guess so. And why is he calling? I guess, I don't know. Maybe he wants to make sure I'm okay. And sure enough, Timmy said, yeah. He goes, yeah, he called me to get your number, and he's worried about you. So she said, well, call him back because we had the number. And I said, no, he said he'll call back. I'm not going to call back. The next night, the same exact time, the phone rings again. And we both look at it, and it's the same number. And I'm like, oh, shit. I said, you get it. You answer it. So she comes in and goes, Artie, it's Bruce Springsteen, like she's telling me her friends on the phone. Right. And I talked to him for about an hour and a half. He talked to me on the phone. And he said, Artie, it's Bruce, I'm hoping you're okay. I'm worried about you. Are you taking care of yourself? That's the first thing he said to me, are you taking care of yourself? Which shows that somebody knows someone who's gone through dope problems. Because when you're on dope, you don't take care of yourself.
Right.
And I said, no, I'm not, man. I'm in a bad way. And he goes, well, listen, it gets better. I've had friends go through this. It gets better. And, he could tell how I was emotional.
Wow.
He could tell what it meant to me. And it helped save my life. It's one of the nicest things anyone's ever done. He talked to me for about an hour. And then after talking about me and everything, we got to talk about the songs. I said, do you mind if I ask you some questions about those songs? I said, I never get this. And he goes, all those girls you write about, are they real? Are they based on something? And, Together, Wendy will live with us. He goes, there's a lot of girls like that. He goes, there's a lot of Wendy's. That's what he said.
I can make sure and say
that. He goes, but you got to meet the right one. He goes, have you met the right one? I said, at the time, I didn't think so, even though I had.
Right.
I said, I don't know. And he goes, well, that's a tricky thing in life, too. And it's hard to relax. He goes, I can't relax. I said, what are you doing right now? He goes, I'm home in Jersey trying to write, and it's hard for me to do that. It's hard to relax. He goes, I bet it's hard for you to relax, too. I said, yeah. When you perform, it's like that. So, he said he hung up and he said, call me anytime. And I never did, but it's one of those things that it's the first time I thought about living again.
Wow.
And then 2 years later in Paris, I got to go backstage and after the show in Paris, and and hug him and say thanks. I got to say thank you to him.
Oh, that gives me the chills.
Yeah, it was really like the fact that he could tell it was a big deal for me.
Right, right.
And he took the time out to do it. So,
right.
That's pretty special.
It's pretty special. I mean, what an impact that must have had. I mean,
yeah, it did. It did. It's like, well, why? It was like, okay, it's one more person that I love that I don't want to disappoint.
Right. Right. So. I guess that's the good way to look at it. You don't. If Bruce Springsteen's got his eye on you, you don't want to let him down.
Yeah.
So it's a good motivation.
My mother said to me, look at all these people, because Howard would call and say, are you okay? And like all these people, your heroes, or they like you to the point where they're upset that you're doing badly. You got to stay, But in true Artie Lange form, 24 hours after I thanked him in Paris, I was in a jail in Paris for public drunkenness.
Oh, my God.
I sat in this Parisian jail with this old guy who was just like a lunatic, just saying stuff in French I didn't understand. And I'm going, God, I hope Bruce doesn't hear this. But, I disappoint people. That's what I do.
Oh,
but, he was just, so anyway, that's the
doesn't
story
matter.
of a lifetime.
It's
It's in my new book, but it's like, it's great.
That's crazy. Wow. That's such a great story. And